Hello everyone, and welcome to my Soap Twist 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Bold and the Beautiful, BNB, spoilers for Friday, November 21st predict that Luna Nozawa's, Lisa Yamada, fate will be revealed when she appears to be hit by a car. A remarkable discovery awaits, so let's chat about where things could go from here. In Thursday's episode, BNB featured all the elements of a classic whodunit, focusing on each person involved in the pursuit and emphasizing their motivations for pursuing Luna. It seemed like the show was setting up a murder mystery, or at least an attempted murder mystery, until Luna ran in front of a car on her way to freedom. Luna seemed to have been mowed down just as she thought she was about to escape. Of course, if the show decides to provide a fake out, Luna may not have been hit at all, but it appears she was. It's also possible that someone intentionally plowed into Luna, depending on who is driving. Regardless, Luna may be hurt and in need of medical attention, but there is no assurance she will receive it. What happens if one of the many suspects shown discovers Luna and tries to kill her? Luna could be asleep and barely surviving, or she could be injured and unable to continue going. That could put Luna at the mercy of whoever finds her. Therefore, the pier and waves pictured may still be relevant. Could someone throw Luna into the water rather than transport her to the hospital? Will Luna be presumed dead, or may she genuinely face a dreadful fate? Whatever the case, there must be more to the Luna problem. The show went to great lengths to set up a mystery, so things may become more convoluted as the week progresses. Luna Nozawa was alive, and the entire city of Los Angeles appeared to know it before she did. She awoke with the taste of copper and the smell of charred rubber. Her cheek pushed against the cracked vinyl that lined the back seat of an old ride-sharing. One headlight remained visible through the smashed glass of the wrecked vehicle, which was wrapped around a eucalyptus tree on Mulholland Drive. The driver, a 24-year-old art school dropout with a side business on Uber evenings, was unconscious, with a gushing forehead but still alive. Luna wasn't supposed to breathe at all. 3 days ago, Poppy had stood over what everyone thought was her deceased body in the morgue at Forrester Creations' exclusive medical suite, whispering, "I'm sorry, baby," before fainting into Lee Finnegan's arms. Yet here she was, heartbeat stubborn, lungs sucking in smoke and night air as if they had a grudge to settle. She couldn't recall the crash. She remembered the quarrel. Poppy was furious, accusing her of trying to destroy the family she'd only recently found she had. She remembered the drugs Poppy had shoved between her lips, designed to resemble a party girl overdose. She recalls the cold steel drawer sliding shut and the oppressive darkness. Then nothing. Until now. Luna dragged herself through the jagged hole where the rear door had been. Glass sparkled on the tarmac like inexpensive diamonds. Her mint green dress, the one she'd worn to crash Bill Spencer's party and reveal to the world that she was his daughter, was torn. Blood streaked her legs, but when she moved her shaky fingers to her throat, she felt a strong pulse. Too strong for someone who was pronounced dead 48 hours ago. Headlights climbed the hill behind her. She stumbled into the brush, instinct taking over everything else. The automobile slowed. The door opened. "Luna?" The voice cut through the ringing in her ears. She recognized that voice. Low, amused, and always a touch dangerous. Steffi Forrester climbed out of the matte black Range Rover, her phone illumination cutting through the carnage. She wore yoga leggings and an oversized Forrester Originals hoodie, her hair in an untidy bun, as if she had been dragged out of bed. Luna knew, dimly, that she probably had. Steffi's beam fell on her. The lights trembled. "You're supposed to be in a drawer downtown," Steffi replied, her voice shaking halfway through. Luna laughed. It came out raw, with more sobs than sounds. "Tell me about it." Steffi did not inquire how. She just walked the distance in 4 steps, grabbed Luna's shoulders hard enough to bruise, and gazed into her eyes, as if seeking for a trick. Finding none, she drew Luna against her, her hoodie smelling of ocean and fine perfume. "You're bleeding," Steffi said into her hair. "I'm alive," Luna replied, as if this explained everything. It did not. Nothing in the past week made sense, least of all this. Within an hour, The canyon was filled with emergency lights. The paramedics wanted to load her onto a stretcher. Luna refused until Steffi, of all people, threatened to call her grandfather Eric and inform him that his new designer was being difficult. Only then did Luna let them to strap her down. She drew Steffi's attention as they hoisted her into the ambulance. "Why are you even up here?" Luna asked via the oxygen mask. Steffi's mouth twisted. "Could not sleep. I kept dreaming that you were screaming my name. I figured I'd drive until the dream stopped." She hesitated. Looks like it had a point. At the hospital, Lee Finnegan greeted them in the ER bay, appearing as if she had aged 10 years in 3 days. Lee dropped the tablet she was holding when she noticed Luna sitting upright on the gurney, eyes clear. It clattered so loudly that a nurse jumped. "You sign my death certificate," Luna replied calmly. Lee's lips parted, but no words emerged. For once, the unflappable Dr. Finnegan remained mute. They did every test known to modern medicine, as well as a couple that Lee developed on the fly. The blood work came back clean, no barbiturates that should have halted her heart. Brain activity is normal. Organs are clean. The sole oddity was an elevated level of what the lab technologists referred to as an unidentified peptide chain. Lee looked at the results as if they had personally betrayed her. Luna watched her former adoptive mother, pace the private room they'd relocated her to after Bill Spencer mentioned the words VIP wing or I by the hospital. "I was in rigor," Lee murmured finally, almost to herself. "You were livid. There has been no pulse for the past 23 minutes. I referred to it as Luna. I called it." "Perhaps you were mistaken," Luna suggested. Lee's gaze shifted to hers. "I've never been mistaken about death. Not once in 30 years. Lee's voice was filled with genuine terror, and Luna felt something in her chest burst open. She reached for Lee's hand. After a moment, Lee let her take it. They released her the next morning with a bottle of antibiotics and more questions than anyone could answer. Bill waited outside in a navy suit that likely cost more than the ambulance, his eyes red-rimmed. When Luna entered through the sliding doors, he opened his arms, and she walked into them without hesitation. He smelt of the ocean and money with the power to change reality. "My girl," he repeatedly said into her hair. "My girl." Poppy stood near the Maybach, sunglasses covering half of her face. When Luna caught her mother's gaze, Poppy flinched, as if slapped. Later, in the fortress-like solitude of Bill's Malibu estate, Luna perched on the edge of a guest bed the size of most apartments, attempting to piece herself together. Someone had laid down new clothes, basic black leggings, and a large cashmere pullover with Forrester tags still attached. Steffi is probably doing something. The woman had an uncanny ability to anticipate your needs before you felt them. A mild knock. The door opened, revealing Lisa Yamada. The actress who played her on television appeared there wearing jeans and a Dodgers jacket, holding 2 Alfred coffee takeaway cups. "I wasn't sure how you would take it," Lisa remarked, offering one. "So, I went with an oat milk latte and 2 turbinados. That's what Luna drinks on the show when she pretends to be zen." Luna looked at her for a long time before taking the cup. "You came to see if the rumors were true." "Pretty much," Lisa said. "The writers are also having mental breakdowns. They killed you off in the May sweepstakes. Ratings were really high. Now half the internet thinks you're alive because some extra posted a blurry photo from Mulholland." She sipped her own coffee. "I figured I'd see for myself before the tabloids descend." Luna chuckled, but it still stung her ribs. "I'm not going anywhere," she said. "Not this time." Lisa looked at her with an actor's eye, looking for the line between part and reality. "You are actually her. Not a double. Not CGI." "A disappointing lack of special effects," Luna stated. Lisa sighed with relief. "Good. Because if we recast, the fans will revolt. And honestly, I'm not ready to let you go either." She halted at the door. "For what it's worth, whatever happened on that table, I'm glad it didn't stick." After she went, Luna remained on the balcony and watched the sun set over the Pacific. The wind tasted of salt and second chances. The official narrative, which would be in the trades by AM, was coma, not death. A uncommon medication response caused the heart to halt long enough for a misdiagnosis, and Lee Finnegan performed heroic resuscitation herself. Nobody would ever use the word miracle on record, but the blogs would. They always have. Luna had a better idea in private. She had felt her heart restart, like if someone had flipped a switch deep inside her chest. She opened her eyes in the morgue drawer and saw a woman standing at the foot of the slab, tall, with red hair and glacier-melt eyes. The woman smiled like a mother does at a child who has just learned to walk. "You're not done," the woman had stated. The drawer then burst open on its own, and Luna gasped as she returned to reality. She hadn't informed anyone about the woman yet. Some truths were too large for hospital rooms. Downstairs, sounds rose and fell, Bill shouting with his security team, Steffi on the phone with Ridge, Hope softly crying in the kitchen. Her family, fractured, enraged, and hers all the same, was attempting to remake the cosmos now that the laws had altered. Luna pushed her fingers against her sternum, feeling the steady pounding beneath cashmere and skin. She imagined Poppy's shaking fingers pushing tablets down her throat. Lee's cold stethoscope announces finality. The drawer slid shut like a coffin lid. None of it had been sufficient. She was Luna Nozawa, daughter of liars and billionaires, nearly murderer, almost victim, designer, manipulator, and survivor. And she was staying. The bold and the beautiful would have to rework every script they'd already filmed for the summer. Fans would scream. Ratings would skyrocket once again. Luna smiled into the dying light, little, keen, and unafraid. Let them come, she reasoned. Let them all arrive. I am not leaving. Not ever again. Luna's world had always been a fragile mosaic of beauty, tragedy, and hope, a constantly shifting environment molded by the intricate individuals around her. But nothing could have prepared her, or anybody around her, for the night that altered everything. What began as a routine evening turned into a moment that sent shockwaves through families, relationships, and long-buried secrets. The automobile incident, which was later whispered about with disbelief and terror, appeared to be the end of Luna's adventure. However, as time passed, the truth of what occurred that night defied all expectations. In the immediate aftermath, panic swept through the lives of those who loved her. Rumors circulated swiftly, spurred by scraps of eyewitness testimony, emergency responder comments, and emotional reactions from those closest to the Forrester and Logan families. Many people assumed the worst. Some people believed it without question. Others clung to denial, reluctant to believe that Luna's brilliant soul could be destroyed so suddenly. But, as the chatter became louder, a surprising discovery lurked just beyond the chaos, a truth waiting to be found, one that would alter the emotional terrain in ways no one could predict. As news outlets, fan forums, and even cast observers attempted to piece together the riddle, one voice emerged above the rest. Lisa Yamada, the actress who played Luna's heart, strength, and fragility on The Bold and the Beautiful. In a move that reverberated throughout the show's devoted fanbase, she stepped forward to address the increasing rumors regarding her departure from the series. Theories had run wild, ranging from contract rumors to storyline demands, but Yamada broke through them all with a definitive remark that stunned and relieved fans alike. She would not leave the show. Even more startling, Luna was still alive. The information reawakened emotions that had been firmly coiled since the catastrophe. Fans who had previously mourned found themselves rejoicing, despite their concerns about the emotional impact of Luna's survival on the tale. Within the story, the people who had been unraveling under the weight of sadness were left to confront a new truth, one that would require them to reconsider their choices, mistakes, and future hopes. Surviving the tragedy was not the conclusion of Luna's story. Rather, it marked the beginning of a deep metamorphosis. Luna floated in and out of consciousness for several days following the encounter, caught between memory and disorientation. The cold echo of metal, the blazing headlights, the dread in her chest, these sensations lingered on the outskirts of her awareness, fading as swiftly as they appeared. Medical teams labored feverishly to run tests, stabilize her condition, and watch the elusive indicators that indicated her mind was gradually readjusting to the world. Outside her hospital room, individuals who cared for her became entangled in conflicting feelings. Relief battled with guilt. Hope mixed with terror. Her survival was a gift, but it came with unanswered questions. R.J. Forrester, who had been closer to Luna than anybody else, struggled the most. In the days preceding up to the disaster, their relationship had been strained by misunderstandings, family pressure, and unsolved secrets that had formed like cracks beneath the surface. When news of the disaster first surfaced, RJ was petrified by the idea that their final chat may have ended in fury rather than love. Knowing she was still alive changed the way he saw everything they had done together. Meanwhile, Poppy, Luna's mother, was ripped apart by another anguish. She had always feared that her past decisions might come back to damage her daughter. The crash felt like a manifestation of that anxiety. Every second she spent by Luna's side was a struggle against the guilt that threatened to consume her. She reviewed talks, disagreements, and occasions when she felt she should have done things differently. Survival provided solace, but it also magnified every regret she had ever felt. Luna regained consciousness, and her first moments were fraught with confusion. The antiseptic lights above her flickered into focus, the constant hum of machines merged into a rhythmic chorus, and the faces leaning over her blurred before sharpening into familiar forms. Her voice was feeble, almost a whisper, as she attempted to comprehend what had occurred. When the reality was softly explained, her eyes widened in disbelief rather than fear. She had no recollection of the accident. Not the automobile. Not in a panic. Not in the aftermath. Her mind had protected her from the trauma, and while some assumed the memories might emerge over time, others secretly hoped they would never come. However, her survival had unavoidable emotional and relational effects. Her recuperation became the focus of an emotional storm. RJ paid daily visits, his demeanor mild, timid, and almost respectful. Their chats were gentle, with cautious admissions and unsaid apologies. Luna noticed the gravity in him, even though she didn't entirely comprehend its origin. She searched for security, clarity, and the emotional anchor she needed to keep herself stable. RJ was eager, even desperate, to be that anchor, but he was concerned that his own secrets would eventually undermine her trust. Poppy, too, lingered in protective mode. She comforted Luna with flowers, stories from home, and countless reassurances. However, the facade of calm periodically shattered, revealing the depth of her fears and the shadows of her background. Even in her frail state, Luna sensed the tension in her mother's voice. She was aware that Poppy was hiding something, but she chose to ignore it for the time being. Then there were the others, who surrounded the event with their own agendas and interpretations. Some saw Luna's survival as a second opportunity for the families she was tied to. Others saw it as an opportunity to change dynamics, settle old grievances, or reshape the power structure in the Forrester world. Beyond all of this, the astonishing discovery that awaited her was unexpected by everyone, including Luna. As the medical team began to assess her health, they discovered anomalies that could not be explained just by trauma. Subtle discrepancies. Biological markers that did not match what they expected. Additional tests were ordered, which were more comprehensive and detailed. Initially, no one paid much notice. Stress, shock, and recovery frequently caused unforeseen outcomes. But then the results came in. The discoveries pointed to a bombshell that would upend Luna's long-held beliefs about her identity, sending shockwaves through the family and forcing Poppy to confront issues she had long hidden. Her survival was not only a miracle, it was a finding in and of itself, a key to revealing secrets that had influenced her existence from childhood. The physicians carefully informed Poppy first, allowing her to internalize the information before it reached her daughter. Poppy felt the world tilt as the words left their lips. She had feared this moment for years, convinced herself it would never arrive, and now it was unavoidable and undeniable. When she entered Luna's room, her strides were hesitant, and her countenance was stiff yet tender. She sat beside her daughter, clutching her hand and scrutinizing every line on her face, as if committing it to memory. Luna detected the shift right away. Something was different. Something was coming. Poppy told her everything.